originally today I was going to record a video talking about the NBA offseason, just overall. Maybe talk a little bit about Summer League, and how certain draft picks have been performing. Although I personally don't put too much stock into Summer League, really. But I actually kind of wanted to talk about this really weird LeBron James situation that's sort of been going on in the background this offseason. So, if you aren't aware, 1 month ago, the Buss family, Jeannie Buss, and I think she has some brothers that are involved to a lesser extent, they sell a majority stake in the Lakers to Mark Walter. No, I think they're still minority owners. Don't quote me on that, but Mark Walter is now the majority owner of the Lakers. He's also the owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is somebody who knows how to run a sports team. Very successful sports team. That the Dodgers are obviously one of the most successful teams in the MLB. And even beyond like the winning on the field and being able to splash cash, they also have great development, great scouting, great all of that. Right? So he knows how to run a team well. So he's now the majority owner of the Lakers. And then we'll fast forward and then come back a little bit, but 4 days ago, it was reported that when this sale happened, Luka Doncic was given advance notice. He was given a bit of a heads up. But LeBron James was not given that same advance notice. He was not made aware of the sale of the team until the news broke and everybody else found out. He found out through Shams, ESPN, whatever. So already that's sort of maybe it was not intentional. I'm in the camp, I think it likely was intentional in a not so subtle dig at where the team is sort of going. Somebody said, I saw this comment, that the Lakers are trying to old Yeller LeBron. So that was 4 days ago, but that was in response to something that happened about a month ago. But then, like, the real sort of meat of this story is what happened just a little bit over 2 weeks ago. So 16 days ago, LeBron opted into his player option for next season. He had a $52.6 million player option. But what's interesting is, as he opts into this player option, the statement that Rich Paul puts out alongside of it, and I'll read out the whole statement here. Rich Paul says, we understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that and are supportive and want what's best for him. So even as he's like, yeah, LeBron is going to opt into his contract with the team for his player option for next year. Also, we're sort of not so subtly saying we don't think this roster is very good, and we're going to watch and see, and if it isn't, well, we might be asking for a trade because LeBron doesn't have that long left in the league. He's definitely on his last legs. Then there's a statement that's put out. It says, Windhurst, I think it was Windhurst, says that LeBron is sitting back and watching the offseason unfold to see if the Lakers can build a contender around him and Luka. Now, obviously the DeAndre Ayton trade happens somewhere in the midst of all this. Or not the trade, but the Lakers bought out Ayton and then, or excuse me, the Blazers bought out Ayton and the Lakers sign him on. The Blazers have still maintained their tradition of never directly trading a player to the Los Angeles Lakers, but Ayton's now a Laker. But I mean, as I'm sure many can attest to, I can attest to, Ayton is not a needle mover in that regard. Also, 16 days ago, there was this candid video filmed without LeBron's knowledge. It looked like he was at a restaurant that he was eating at. And you can kind of hear LeBron in the background of the video talking. Somebody's just kind of filming under the table or something like that. And he made a comment about Savannah, his wife. Obviously, Savannah James wants him to retire within the next year or so. So imagine that's either next season or the season after next. And he made a comment about, he wouldn't be upset about going to New York to retire, theoretically, that meaning the New York Knicks, not the Brooklyn Nets. Then after that video comes out, there's all sorts of buzz going on, and people talking about trades, potential trades, and looking at roster fits that might be more of a win-now fit for LeBron and a team that can afford his contract. And the names that the teams that come up in that situation, the main four there are Cleveland, Dallas, Golden State, and New York is the four teams that are having the most buzz and sort of magnifying glass put on to. And actually at the moment on the betting website Bovada, I believe that the Dallas Mavericks are currently the odds-on favorite to get LeBron James in a trade. So that all came out about over a 2 or 3 day window, about 2 weeks ago. All that stuff happened, and things got quiet again. And then 4 days ago, there was a report that the Cavaliers were only interested in LeBron if it's a buyout situation. So basically, they don't want to send pieces back to the Lakers that make up that to make the salary work. That makes sense because the Cavaliers they're a playoff team. They had a good run. They fell a little bit short, obviously, in the East, but they had a really strong run this season and last season as well. The Cavaliers probably feel like they're building a very successful squad, that they're going to continue to improve, and they're probably correctly figured that making such a seismic shift in the team is to bring in LeBron James for a third stint in Cleveland. That would probably set them back as far as winning a championship. They'd probably benefit in other ways. Obviously, LeBron doing his retirement tour as a Cavalier would be massive. The jersey sales, the ticket sales, all that would be massive for Cleveland Cavaliers, but as far as a competitive product on the court, probably not. Also around that same time, an unnamed veteran NBA executive does some interview, and he says he thinks it's very strange. Usually when a star player like LeBron opts into their contract, the team announces the move. I find this very strange. Something's definitely going on behind the scenes. I think LeBron and the Lakers front office are butting heads. They haven't had an impressive offseason at all, and there are rumors that Rob Pelinka is saving cap space for 2027. That's just idiotic when you have LeBron and Luka. So they're saying, like, the word within league circles, the little birds flying around are saying that Rob Pelinka is kind of punting next season and saving up cap space to make a run in 2027, whether that's to bring in Jokic to put next to Luka, whether that's to try to make a run at Wemby or any other star whose team can no longer afford them under the new CBA. He probably rightly probably assumes that there will be somebody out there on the market that the Lakers will be able to throw a bag at, whose team will not be able to afford to match that offer, and a big name would be likely to move. Me personally, I feel like that name would be Jokic, trying to pair Jokic with Luka, and they have Michael Malone as the head coach in Los Angeles, who was Jokic's head coach not that long ago, who he got along with really well. In my mind, just my personal opinion, it seems like that's the direction they're going to try to go. So then all that happens 2 days ago. Rich Paul puts out this statement, and it's very interesting. So, Rich Paul has made it clear that LeBron has not asked for a trade, and Paul hasn't even discussed the possibility of wanting a trade in the future with the Lakers. Now, I find that a little bit funny that he says that, and I definitely believe that when he says LeBron has not asked for a trade, that's true. I don't think LeBron or Rich Paul have explicitly asked for a trade. But when he says that he hasn't even discussed the possibility of wanting a trade in the future of the Lakers, I feel like that is completely contradicted by the initial statement he put out when LeBron opted into his player option. You can't say we want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. There's a difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. The Lakers are supportive of him and want what's best for him. And then say that you haven't even discussed the possibility of asking for a trade. Clearly, you have. And either you're trying to maintain some semblance of leverage so the Lakers don't get upset about, so they can still get a decent trade package, or the offers that you're receiving, or seeing things like the Cavaliers only wanting LeBron in a buyout, aren't meeting the expectations that either Rich Paul has or that LeBron has. But then what's funny is in that same statement, Rich Paul says that 4 teams have contacted him with interest in trading for LeBron. Now those 4 teams, apparently one of them is not Cleveland, so you have Dallas, Golden State, New York. I believe those 3 teams would have contacted Rich Paul. The 4th team may be the Clippers. I could see the Clippers, maybe. I don't know who else. Philadelphia, maybe. I don't know. But it's just, I find this whole situation so interesting because LeBron James, whatever you think of him, he's either the best or the second best player of all time. I'm not sure anybody who isn't being somewhat, I'm not sure what term I'm looking for, but anybody who's being honest and isn't trying to try some agenda, I don't think you can realistically have him out of. I'll give you the top 3. I know some people like to put Kareem at 1 or at 2. I know a lot of people like that, but I think if you have LeBron outside your top 3, at that point you're just sort of lying. If you have a player who's, that good, either 1, 2, or 3 at the worst, all time, and not only does it seem like the team that he is currently playing on, a team that, by the way, he won a championship with, that they made up. It was a very big moment bringing him in. They brought in another young superstar to play with them. They drafted his son, by the way, like his son is playing for them. And they're not willing to extend his contract beyond this season, so they're basically saying, like, you're either going to retire here this season with us, or you're going to go play somewhere else and retire with them. Which I'm sure when he Los Angeles when he got that set up. I can't remember if that was a trade or a free agent signing. I think it's a free agent signing. I can't imagine that he was ever thought that he would not be able to go out under his own terms. So it is a bit jarring from that perspective that you have this player of this caliber that there seemingly is not a trade market for him. And the team he is on doesn't want him beyond what it seems like this season. Now, in a theoretical trade situation, I found 3 teams that to me kind of stick out as the ones that are the most realistic. Let's start with the team. Like I said, right now they're the odds-on favorite. That's the Dallas Mavericks. Theoretically, LeBron goes to Dallas. He teams up with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis for a farewell run with 2 of his iconic teammates. LeBron and Kyrie, they'll always be linked because of that Cleveland Cavaliers championship and that team that clashed with Golden State. It's for the Batman and Robin pairing for many years, even though Kyrie didn't seem to like that. But then Anthony Davis, who he won a championship with in Los Angeles. And probably now that both of those players are gone is a bit jarring because it seemed like LeBron and AD, that was going to be your duo pairing that the Lakers would build around for the foreseeable future, especially after that championship. But maybe they team back up in Dallas. LeBron has this sort of big 3 with those 2 guys that he has history with and has won rings with. And then also he has a rookie Cooper Flag that he gets to mentor as Flag learns the ropes of the NBA. In my mind, this is, from a basketball standpoint, from a narrative standpoint, this is the best fit. And from what I've seen, I think Dallas would have to be sending Clay, Gafford, and Washington to Los Angeles to make the money work. And like I said, if I'm Dallas, I feel like this is good. You restore some fan goodwill at the Luka trade as well. I think if Nico Harrison brings in LeBron, he has Flag. He's probably completely forgiven, at least from a large part of the Dallas Mavericks fan base. But I'm not sure this would do much for the Lakers who want to build for the future. They want that flexibility in 2027. So the other option that I see is Golden State, or one of the other options. Now Golden State, that one's obvious. LeBron, he gets to team up with Steph Curry. These 2 have been, they've been linked. They've been compared against each other, battled each other iconically over and over and over. Imagine those 2 guys playing together, one last run, the 2 of them together. Like, the stories write themselves, the ESPN headlines, the highlight packages, they all write themselves. The NBA would see record viewership if this happened. Adam Silver's wet dream is if LeBron goes to Golden State. And from what I can see, this is likely the easiest, most pain-free trade that can be made. Because Jimmy Butler can basically be treated 1-for-1 for LeBron James. Jimmy Butler makes a bit more money than LeBron does. But he has, from what I've seen, Jimmy Butler is only under contract until 2027, so they still get that flexibility for 2027 if they make this trade. And the last one, just because it was talked about in that restaurant video, the New York Knicks. Now the only easy trade here for the Knicks is trading Karl Anthony Towns for LeBron James, 1-for-1. But I don't think that makes much sense from a roster construction standpoint, because the Knicks would have no center depth beyond that. I'm a big Mitchell Robinson fan, but he is always injured. Always injured. And You need a center, especially in today's NBA, where the bigs, especially the versatile bigs who can pass, shoot, everything else, or that is the sort of archetype right now. So I don't think that is a good move. And then looking at, I think you'd have to trade OG and Anobi paired with either Bridges or Hart. But OG is under contract for 2027 and has a player option for the following season. I also feel like with the Knicks system that they run, I don't think LeBron at his current age would work well in that system. So, if LeBron is traded, I hope he ends up in Dallas. I feel like the most likely spot is Golden State. But ultimately, I think that because of, because of the sort of market as it is right now, because of the new CBA restrictions and how much difficult it's made trading, I think LeBron might end up staying in Los Angeles, which is a bit of a disappointment because it's so weird to me that, you know, this guy of his caliber is gonna end his career sort of in a forced retirement tour from a team who doesn't want to keep him around anymore, because they're kind of pushing him out to the side for the young up-and-coming player who has been compared to him, like the next LeBron with Luka. So even as a big Luka fan, like, that just doesn't really sit right with me. And so this whole situation has just been very interesting and weird to watch unfold. So I just wanted to make this little video talking about it. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you think LeBron gets traded, if he ends up with the Lakers, what goes on here. I don't think there's any wrong answers at this point, but who knows, by the time this video goes live, maybe a decision will have been made, so it'll immediately be out of date. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this every single week. Till next time guys, bye bye.